The Dynamite Show with Grandpa Dez and Jeff Hawkins. All right. Hey, Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
All right, you need to prepare me for that stuff. You need to smarten me up if you're gonna sing to start the show. Okay, I'm doing okay. I'm not bad, all things considered.
Yeah. We ended the show last week on a somber note, obviously, where you talked about what was going on. You shared a little bit more on Facebook, and so yeah, for those that don't know, we're wearing this live on the YouTube channel. And for those that don't know, we always talk about, kind of what we saw earlier in the week and everything like that before we get into the recap of the Dynamite Show. And I want to thank you all for joining us. And please consider subscribing to the Fight Game Media Patreon, patreon.com/Fight Game Media, $5 a month. You get our show every week. You get a bunch of other stuff. But we did have some people that listened to the show last week. And, some people...
Well, let me get the news.
Hang on. You ever heard the thing #plans change?
Yes.
Okay, we're not gonna talk about what we saw in AEW besides Dynamite, because we did have some people that had some stuff they wanted to say to you. So hang on. Here we go.
Jeff, my friend, wishing you the best. We got your back. I know this has been weighing on you an awful lot, but they're gonna take care of you. You're going to be good to go. We're thinking of you. We love you, buddy.
That was, for those that don't know, that was Sean Ross Sapp, your partner on another broadcast. So, yeah, he had some stuff he wanted to say. So I just figured, well, we can make some time for old Sean. SRS to his close friends.
Yes, well, as there was a deal made between Garrett and Sean to let me come onto this network, so it was nice.
Really?
Well, they asked, is it okay for me to be here? It's like, yeah.
Oh,
it's like, cool.
So is that how we got you on 50%?
Y'all are getting me for cheap.
Oh, hold on. Somebody else.
Oh, Scott, sending you nothing but.
Hang on. I got to start from the beginning. Here we go.
What's going on, Mr. Hawkins? It is the resident and only Fight Game Media Miz fan, Salty Scott, sending you nothing but perky and good vibes as you put on your best Wolverine performance and kick this thing's ass. Send it to the curb. 1, 2, 3. Get your title and go home. We're rooting for you.
I'm kind of a Miz fan though, just because I've met him at my improv theater a few times.
Oh, well, hang on.
He was part of IO.
Pick up that name you just dropped there.
Yeah, well, no. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say we're friends, but I mean, it was one of those things where he was doing classes at my theater when he got the call to SmackDown. So, I'm always happy for him. Best story ever. Can't do the show this week. I'm at WrestleMania. You're going? No, I'm in WrestleMania. That was
the main event.
No, this was when he was teaming with a Big Show.
Oh, okay. What was I going to say there? Crap, doesn't matter. Oh, Scott Young, sorry. He's from the Rap, in case people don't know. Next up, we got somebody else. Hang on. Here we go.
I'm waiting for the
Hang on, I got to rewind her back to the beginning. This is Sam Shipman.
From Power Bombshells. I just wanted to let you know that I'm thinking of you. I hope that your surgery goes well and that your recovery is smooth and speedy and that you're back on the mend soon and that you're back talking wrestling. Look forward to talking to you soon.
That was Sam Shipman from the Power Bombshells on this very channel.
Tell people what's going on.
Yeah, go ahead.
They found a tumor in my bladder, and so they're going in tomorrow to take it out, flush it out there, hopefully kill any cancer cells that are in there. Don't know the extent of it, but I should be home tomorrow unless they're keeping me for observation. So it's a same day thing. They actually moved my surgery up 2 hours due to they said, we have a cancellation. So you're first. I went, man, just what I need. I need a doctor who needs his coffee. That's just what
hold on. So I got to cancel the person that I got to replace you now, because you're going to be back.
I think I might be back. It depends. I mean, it just depends on how I'm feeling.
Just kidding. Yeah. Nobody can replace Jeff.
No, and everybody, I mean, I'll say this on my other territories too, but everybody's been so nice and people have been reaching out and people that I've never even talked to have been reaching out. So that's
wow.
It's a very nice thing. And a lot of people have done a lot of nice things for me behind the scenes just to give me encouragement and stuff like that. So Yeah,
I heard one thing. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but
oh
you don't
well, I
have
mean,
to.
I had a few talent people drop in the DMs, and one some people at AEW were very nice to me as well, and got me
Oh,
some greetings from some of my favorite people there. So you know,
wow.
it's one of those things where it's like people went out of their way to do nice things for me, and it's like
Yeah.
it's humbling. It's
Isn't
almost
that
intimidating because it's like I have no way to obviously pay these people back except in like liquor or something. So, which is what I
well?
did for one
But
of
I
them at
mean, that's
least.
the thing is you don't have to pay them back. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the
I
thing,
know.
right? That's what this is about.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, here's another one.
Away from Hawaii.
Hang
We
on,
love.
I gotta.
Aloha, Jeff. It's Mike Gilbert, man. I heard about your procedure. I just want to let you know that the Gilberts are thinking about you all the way from Hawaii. We love you, man, and prayers to you. Stay tough. Later.
I love
My-
that he's in Hawaii because I went and got some Dole Whip today, and that stuff's the best.
Wow, that's Mike Gilbert. In case you don't know, from the Brace for Impact show, and actually his partner as well sent something in.
Awesome.
But I gotta.
Hey Jeff, this is JD Oliva from Brace for Impact. Just letting you know that you're on my mind and hoping for the best. Keep fighting, man.
I think he's getting ready to kick the asses of the Creeds right there.
He might. Maybe he's ready to run some ninth graders. until they puke.
Yeah. Jeff and or
Yeah, I
JD
appreciate
and
that, JD.
Mike host a
Make me
great show.
cry, Paul, on air, and I don't want to do
I'm
that
sorry.
right now.
I wish I could say we were done, but got another one here. Hang on.
Justin Nipper wanted to throw you some words of encouragement. Get well soon and get back to action soon.
That's awesome. Get back to action. You're not even gonna take time off. You just said, "Wow."
Well, I'm gonna try not to take time off.
Yeah.
It just depends on how I'm feeling.
I know. Hey, and trust me, we got you. But you know what? We prayed for you in our church this past
Appreciate
week.
that.
I know from personal experience it works. So,
I
there
do
we
too.
go. There we go. Somebody's given JD a new job. Like he's only got like 15 jobs as it is. He's an author. He's a podcast host. He's a writer. He's I don't
teach
even know
those
what
Creed
the
boys
hell
how to
else he
promo.
does. Yeah. No, he should. He's a good promo. Speaking of good promos, hang on, I gotta rewind again. Hang on, Jeremy. Okay, here we go.
Good luck to you tomorrow, Jeff Hawkins. We're all pulling for you. I hope you handle this with the class and the humor and the ability to navigate things that you seem to have when you deal with everything else that I've seen you deal with. All the best to you, man. Good luck.
Wow. That was nice.
No, my doctor has better material than I do, so I'm not going to be doing jokes. Because he did the cystoscopy, and I said, you got to buy me dinner first, and he just looks at me, oh, you got jokes? I got responses, and then he went into his material. I went, oh, man, it's so much better.
Jeremy, of course, just, and this isn't like, I'm not doing this just to plug the show or whatever, but I do want to mention Jeremy has a new show on this YouTube channel as well called Speaking of Strong Style that he co-hosts, I believe, with Scott Edwards. Is that right? Or is it Steve Conway? I'm so bad. I should know this. I haven't actually seen the show yet because I'm not a big fan of YouTube stuff. Oh yeah, here we go. We need Kevin here to see do proper plugs because I'm useless at this stuff. Or maybe Jeff could do the plugs.
Well, if I kept up with all the shows.
Well, that's the thing, right? And speaking of keeping up with shows, we got this guy who hosts 15 shows.
We're creating 30 shows at once on this network.
We got a person here that hosts 15 shows. Who do you think I'm talking about?
I believe that's Mr. Garrett Gonzalez.
The OG.
Here we go.
Hey, Jeff, hope everything goes well with your surgery. Hope you bounce back quickly. Happy to be one of the OG F4W Empire people with you, and hope to see you again at a convention or just at a show. Very appreciative of you for joining up with Paul and doing the Dynamite show. You guys have great chemistry. You are the yin to each other's yang. The amount of laughter I get just in editing kind of the front and the back of the show with the fun that you guys have is awesome. So hang in there, man. And we're rooting for you and we got your back, and anything you need, let me know. Let us know. You are part of us. Good luck.
And Dave wished me a speedy recovery too through Twitter. I was very surprised because he doesn't follow me, and then he followed me. All of a sudden, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
Well, actually, speaking of him, and he's live. Hey, Dave, you there?
I'm here.
Hey, Dave.
What's going on?
I appreciate the well wishes. I really do.
Oh, hey, good luck. Good luck.
Thanks.
Dave, thanks for doing this. As Jeff mentioned, he's got the surgery tomorrow, so we got all these
early
people.
First thing. I'll get it out of the way and hopefully be home in the afternoon.
Well, good luck, and hope
you.
it goes well. I
Thank
mean, yeah, definitely.
And Dave told me I got to keep him updated. So Jeff, you got to keep me updated.
I will be keeping everybody updated. I got a lot of people texting me right now going, "Hey, how you feeling right now?" I'm like, "I'm trying to do a show, guys. Come on."
So I think we gotta let Dave get back to work. He's got to recap. He's got to go
40
watch
hours
this show
of Japanese wrestling to watch before he does the show tonight.
I'm looking forward to hearing what Dave has to say about tonight's show. And you can all listen to that on Wrestling Observer Radio tomorrow. So thanks, Dave, for coming on.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Okay, hey, no problem. And good luck tomorrow, okay?
Yep.
All right. And that was
That was
Dave.
nice.
I could ban him from the studio, it says here. I think I'll just kick him out.
Please
kick yes. There we go. Okay. Oh, you know what? We got one more. Hang on. This is not somebody from Fight Game.
Good morning, Jeff. This is Tully Blanchard, one of the original Four Horsemen. I understand that you're having some surgery on the 7th to remove a tumor out of your bladder. I will pray to the God of heaven, Jesus Christ, the healer of all things, to make your recovery very speedy and 100%. Speaking about wrestling, I understand you're a Tully Blanchard fan. So you know I never said I quit in the I Quit match. So Jeff, you can't quit. Diamonds are forever, and so is Jeff Hawkins. God bless you, my friend. Hang in there, and I expect to hear from you in a couple of months.
Thank you for that. Please send me a copy.
I will.
It'll go with my other Tully Blanchard cameo that someone got.
Can you see that? For those
that's
listening,
fantastic. That is.
Diamonds are forever, and so is Jeff Hawkins. I want to get that on a T-shirt.
Well, no T-shirts about me, please. That's a little too much.
So I think that's it. There may be one more person coming on, but
okay.
She's not here yet.
Let's get to arguing.
yeah. Okay, so you know what? We promised we were going to talk about this Matt Menard thing. Here, Mike Gilbert.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of them knew about it. I mean, you saw the Cameo logo, right?
I did.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something off air. But we got to talk about this Matt Menard thing. You sent me the video. You were like the third person to send it to me. You said you got to watch this, and I'm like, do I have to watch this? Because I don't. Everybody knows I don't like watching the YouTube, like the.
You don't like the
stuff.
supplemental things. You just want to keep it to the TV.
Yeah, actually, Kevin and I had a conversation about this. Kevin Ely, and he mentioned like he likes to have the appetizers and the desserts with his meal. And you know what? I like to gorge on my meal, and then I pass on the dessert. I just like the meal. I'm there.
All right, let me split the baby then between you two to do a little biblical metaphor there. I want promos on TV more. But if this is gonna, I mean, look, but Twitter and social media is a giant laboratory and a giant. It's an opportunity for people who may not get TV time to cut promos. And then if they use them in the official corporate social media, that's only a good thing. My push is for more promos on TV, to be honest with you, because I want more than I think that's what really helps guys get over versus, just good matches. And I understand your point because I'm with you on that point, but I'm also with Kevin a little bit on that point. I'm like, look, there are guys who will do promos in another place or another part of the media family of the company. And if it helps them catch fire, then by all means do it. My problem with your justification was I didn't like, because it had nothing to do with the promo. And
Right.
that was my issue with yours. And I'll get to that in a second. But overall, I mean, like,
Oh, okay. So okay, let me clarify. I don't
Okay.
watch these things because I don't like to watch these things. So that has nothing to do with how I feel about the promo. I just
Okay.
generally, as a rule,
Well,
don't like to watch these things. I don't care how good they are.
Well,
So
I'll-
went into this. I went
Yeah.
into this with an open mind, expecting it to be awesome because you told me it was awesome. Because other
I
people
said it was.
that
I said it
respect-
was good. I didn't say it was awesome.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I just, for me, like I watch this thing and I'm watching and I'm looking and I'm 3.5 minutes. Are you kidding me? And I'm watching and he's screaming at me and there's music playing in the background. And I just like, it was all over the place. Like everything he was saying, like, you know, 1 minute he's loyal to Jericho. The next minute he's not. He's pissed off about missing his kid's first steps. But I mean, he would have done that anyways. Didn't have anything to do with the match. So for me, like, it just took me out of it. The best thing about it was like the last 20 seconds, which it actually aired on Dynamite, where he explained that the reason that he tapped out was because he wanted to take that moment away from Eddie Kingston. I love that part of it. But the rest of it, to me, it just seemed like it was pointless. Like it had nothing to do with anything other than if you're going to get invested in Matt Menard. But Matt Menard's a heel. And up until now, he's been a comedy figure, and I much prefer the comedy guy than this guy that's trying to be serious. And I don't know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I remember reading in the Fight Game group, you said, "Well, what's the use of this promo? Because he's only a mid-carder."
Correct. Yeah, I did say that.
And that was my issue that I had, because I mean, for a guy to catch fire, he has to try something when he has the moment, and you got a lot of more of these moments when I was growing up than you do now. So you have to take the moment, and there's been missed opportunities in these types of things. I mean, think about like the Mrs. promo on Talking Smack on Daniel Bryan was one of the best things he ever did. And then they just chose not to do that because, well, they thought the same thing you do. Well, he's a mid-carder right now. We don't want to build the feud around this, blah, blah, blah. I think the promo was very good. I understand it was a little clunky. I think you missed at least a little bit of it because he was never mad at Jericho.
Okay.
The point of the thing was he was doing all these sacrifices in service of Jericho because Jericho was the only guy who had his back when he was out, basically implying after he got cut from WWE and came into AEW, and they were just kind of being used as geeks.
Those 2 weeks. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it had good pathos, I thought, with the whole tying in the kid thing. I loved the line. I loved the Hyman Roth line from Godfather 2. This is the life we chose. I thought that was a nice little connection to it. Overall, if I was coaching this, because Kevin Ely asked me to kind of do this, and he asked, as an acting coach, what would you have done if he had come in and done that as the first take of the draft of his promo? I would have looked at him and I would have said, we've all seen you do hyped up, hyper screaming loud promos. Let's just take you into this room and cut a quiet promo and just have everybody just kind of go, whoa, at that. Okay. That would have been my note to him personally. My note on the promo as it was, they need to get rid of this music. I think the music hurt the promo because it was a little bit too John Williams, Steven Spielberg. Here's the dramatic moment with the strings type of thing. I think it was overproduced in a way. I think from a performance thing, he's doing something that they kind of teach in WWE a little bit in terms of he went a little too big with the I'm so frustrated. Becky Lynch does this a lot. If you watch her in her matches where she's frustrated, she kind of grabs her mouth and grabs her head, does that type of thing. There's a little bit too much of that. And every time he went to that, it kind of threw him out of the emotional honesty of the promo just a little bit, and he had to get back into it. I understand people's thoughts about this, but for a promo for that guy, he's improving, and it's a good thing. And yeah, actually, Eliza gets the one thing I was going to say to start this thing. Less is more, and it really would have been a lot more hard hitting if it was just him in a room after Blood and Guts, going, what did we do Anarchy in the Arena for? And then coming to terms with what he did, and then coming to accept that, yeah, he kind of screwed Eddie Kingston at the same time, so he can have some sort of proud moment in defeat.
Yeah.
But I liked the idea of this promo, and I liked what he was doing. But we've seen the loud Matt Menard promo, and it's still very good, but I wouldn't put it as great necessarily. But I did think it was very good, and I did like him actually. You know, he's obviously a little torn up about not seeing his kids' first steps, if that's real. I mean, we don't know if that's real or not.
Well, and that's the thing. And you know what? I almost think it's better if it's not real.
Yeah.
You know, because he's
kind of is.
Yeah.
It's kind of the old Carney thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you find out his kid is like 8, you know, like,
that far, but okay.
You know,
he's a 13-year-old.
Yeah, and he's, you know, he's just bringing back something that happened, you know, like 12 years ago. So my thing was, okay, I get what you're saying about, you know, you got to take a shot and everything like that. And you brought up Stone Cold in our discussion.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
let me put that out there. Before he did Austin 316 promo, for the last 3 pay-per-views before that, he was with Ted DiBiase in a feud with Savio Vega, where he had lost 2 of the 3 pay-per-view matches. You can't tell me they're putting the rocket on this guy's back, even with King of the Ring, necessarily. They're going to try something. They're going to give him a crown, probably, but they weren't going to go all in on this Stone Cold said so stuff.
He was way higher up the card than Matt Menard is. And he also had a lot more upward potential. I mean, when you look like that and you've got the wrestling ability that he did and the speaking ability that he did way back to WCW, Matt Menard's 38 years old. He looks like a jobber. He isn't a particularly great wrestler. He's a great promo. Like, you know, and he's a talented guy. He's charismatic. He's entertaining. He's got a role. I just don't think I would put money on him never winning a belt in AEW. Like, definitely not a singles title, and probably not even a tag team title, given how stacked their tag team division is. I'm not saying he never will, but I would bet against it.
But that's okay.
And I'm a big fan. Oh, that's great. But that's what I mean.
If the promo raises his visibility and he can make more money, I'm good with this. And sell more merch.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I think, like, you know, and again, like, I agree though that you know, there were nuggets of that promo that I really liked, and if it had been shorter, I probably would have liked it a lot better. And definitely with the editing notes that you gave, like, if it had been more focused and been like, okay, this is the price I paid for being in Blood and Guts, and this is what I missed, and this is why I did what I did, and this is what I'm going to do next.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And we got none of what's going to happen next. So that was the other thing, is like, that's why I said, like, I have no idea what the point of this was.
We got that with the spliced in.
We did.
Part of the promo you saw, we got it with the spliced in Angelo Parker.
The thing they aired on Dynamite, I thought was great.
Yeah.
Like, it aired the best part of the Menard promo. Apparently it aired the best part of the Parker promo. And, you know, and I really liked it. It put over the old match, and it also kind of set the table for what's coming next. So I like that.
Okay.
And we'll get into that. So briefly, I don't even remember Rampage. I watched it almost live. Like, I watched it the next morning, which I almost never do. So that's like 4 days ago.
The Royal Rampage was okay, I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was a little much. Yeah.
No, from all the shows on the pre-tape, the thing that I took away from it is that I think Hikaru Shida and Yuka Sakazaki might be my favorite. Might be one of my favorite tag teams. I love Yuka Sakazaki. She's quickly becoming one of my favorite people just to watch, because
I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, no, they had a nice little tag team match on Dark Elevation, I thought. Nice to see Leon Ruffin getting former NXT North American champion getting some shots on both Dynamite and Dark as well.
Yeah,
and I thought the
link if you missed it. But.
Yeah, and the Wingmen versus Dark Order was a hell of a fun party match, I thought.
Yeah, Dark Order just proving that they're still around. And they brought that up again.
Yeah, well, we'll be talking about that also, even though you don't want to.
Oh, yes, we will. No, I don't. So we started.
Actually, let me address one thing, because this was something I wanted to bring. It came up in the comments a bit from Kurt there. That's the other thing that the Menard promo did that was nice, and I know that it can be a little bit redundant, and I brought this up already. But if you go back and you watch territory wrestling, those promos where it's like you have to do the promo and you have to bring people into the building, every guy comes into there. There's a lot of yelling, but it's that angry yelling type of thing. It's at least an emotional choice that they're making. And you don't get that a lot on TV promos these days because it's either storytelling where you're giving exposition of last week you came down to the ring and you as opposed to having an emotional resonance with what happened and trying to build a feud as opposed to a story. And so Menard coming in wild and yelling and angry at least got my attention as he has an emotional connection to this promo in some way, as opposed to he's just telling me a story or some of the almost ironic detachment promos that you see in AEW at times, especially when you're thinking about like the best friends and stuff like that.
I got no issue with any of that.
Okay.
What is this? Oh, there you go.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Feel something. That's all I want you to do in a promo is feel something. Happy, sad, arrogant, whatever you want.
Yeah, and I mean that's the key. And I can't argue that. I mean, and well, I guess I can argue it because I didn't feel anything.
It gets a little old if everybody's yelling and angry all the time, but at least it's a choice.
But I do appreciate that he made some people feel things. So I have to acknowledge that. It didn't work for me, but it obviously worked for a lot of people. Look at that. Some shade going my way. We got beef. So we had we got the Dynamite. We got the episode of AEW Dynamite from Rochester. I was making a big deal all day today about the fact that this show took place in Rochester. Jon Moxley was defending the title against a guy named Brody in Brody Lee's hometown. And I kind of thought they would play into that a little bit more than they did.
In a hometown named for Jack Benny's sidekick. No.
Yeah.
Well, Rochester's a big deal. Yeah, I thought they'd make a little bit more of the Brody Lee thing, but they did with the Dark Order segment, which you don't want to talk about. They did. But we are going to talk about.
But nothing like. I mean, I feel like having Brody King, and it felt like it was a rush title defense, and having a guy named Brody.
Yes,
I figured that's why they were doing it, and I guess I was wrong.
No, I think you're correct.
Oh, okay.
I think you're exactly correct. I think that's exactly why they had him win the Royal Rampage.
But then it just didn't really do.
And he's also a guy you can beat in like a 1 week build for a title match because it's not going to lead to anything against the House of Black because the House of Black is dealing with other things. Although they might be next for the Blackpool Combat Club because we've already shifted the Lucha Brothers off to Los Ingobernables de AEW. So
yeah, Moxley's promo kind of seemed to head that way. And Larry, who I know was watching earlier, I don't know if he's still there, but he has been harping on that all week that he's hoping that we're going to see a BCC versus House of Black. And you know what? After tonight, I'm kind of in for that. There was things I saw that kind of made me look forward to that. So, but we started off the show with Wardlow, and he had the Goldberg entrance, and sounded like I'm not saying the crowd wasn't chanting for him because they definitely were, but it sounded like they might have been piping in some Wardlow chants as well, like in the Goldberg cadence, just to kind of get the crowd going. And then, I mean, once he got out there, they didn't need it. Like they were hot for him. Like this was the hottest they've been for Wardlow since Double or Nothing.
This crowd was hot all night. This crowd,
most of the
Rochester crowd,
most of the night.
Okay,
with a couple exceptions.
Okay,
but Wardlow. I mean, it was perfect. It was the best thing on the show, I thought. He destroyed Scorpio Sky. It was they called it a street fight, and I was questioning whether it actually was because I mean they wrestled all through the commercial break, just a straight match, even though there's 8 million people at ringside. Allegedly members of America's Top Team, although I did see Kevin Matthews out there, and some Northeastern indie guys, and Kevin Matthews was the one taking the big bumps.
Yes,
I love that dude. I hope he gets signed, but I don't think he will, given that he was in this role. But yeah, Wardlow. I mean, he did the Powerbomb Symphony, three Powerbombs, pinned Scorp with 1 foot. I mean, Scorpio did almost nothing in this match, and he didn't need to. He just had to drop the title. Wardlow hit that awesome senton, which almost needs to be the finisher because it's so good.
They covered for his injury well, I thought. They had a lot of smoke and mirrors with the other people in the interference. Dan Lambert took a bump. That was a good thing. And they just kind of all the smoke and mirrors distracted you from the fact that Scorpio Sky really didn't do anything in this match because probably he's still a little bit dinged up.
Yeah.
Got the belt off of him, destroyed him, ran through him like butter. And yeah, that's how you do it. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought the confetti at the end was a bit much,
Well,
but it was nice. I mean, they coronated him. They gave him a coronation on TV, and that's a good thing.
yeah.
This is what you're supposed to do with television. You're supposed to build stars, and I really liked it.
Very reminiscent of Wardlow winning, or of of Goldberg winning the U.S. title over Raven in, I think it was Raven, right? That he beat in WCW to win the U.S. title.
I don't want to put the Goldberg albatross around his neck though.
Well, I don't think it's an albatross the way it
I think
ended.
it's a bit of an albatross. Well, no.
Well,
but when you say like Goldberg,
yeah.
they just go, "Oh, guy, you're gonna shove down our throats."
No. I
mean,
this
winning
is
streak and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they're not really pumping up the winning streak because I mean, really, he's not undefeated, and they've
right.
made no
They've
bones
told
about
you
it.
he's important. That's the
Yeah.
main thing.
I got something right. Josiah confirmed it was Raven. Yeah. I watched WCW back in the day. Ring of Honor too. So yeah, you're gonna have to bear with me in this show because we're doing it live, so I can't just stare at my notes like I usually do while we're recording. So I'm kind of going back and forth. But yeah, that was the opening segment. Then we got the Mox promo.
Hold on, as Marina Shavir says, never say you're sorry.
Okay, all right. This is true.
We'll get to that
this is a
during
good
the tag
point.
match.
This is a good point. Mox had a promo. It was, typical Mox promo. It was real good. He talked about people have lost a lot of money betting against him. And I'm like, who are these idiots betting against Moxley? Like, I think he's like 76-4 or something like that. Or
who's betting on pro wrestling? And what kind of degenerate are you?
Me, but I'm not betting against Moxley.
Yeah, but hold on. Are you actually betting not knowing the result, or have you been like tipped off or something?
I lost money on the last pay-per-view.
You're losing money on pro wrestling.
I did on Forbidden Door. Who did I bet on? I bet on Hangman because I was getting good odds on that.
Okay.
Bet on Miro, and I bet on Thunder Rosa because somebody told me that everyone was unhappy with Thunder. Oh, I bet on Tony Storm because somebody said Thunder Rosa was going to get cut and they were going to strip the title. I'm a mark. So yeah, I lost like $40. No big deal. But yeah, he basically said, what did he say in this thing? He knows his friends and his enemies. He knows Brody from New Japan and Ring of Honor. He says, but he doesn't know if he's got heart, but you're going to need it because you're swimming with the big shark. And my notes were that it sure looked like they're setting up a feud because Moxley kept mentioning the BCC over and over again, and then step up or get stepped on is the catchphrase used at the end. That was a good promo.
That's good. My only issue with Moxley promos are he's a walking kinetic energy machine when he's doing it. It's almost distracting at times, but yeah, I mean,
yeah.
That's also a great part of his character is
yes.
kind of the unhinged thing where it's just like, I don't really want to be giving this promo right now, but I'm going to move around, kind of shake around like a little kid, but also everything I'm saying is a little bit stream of consciousness thing. And then it's like, and now I'm going to be violent. See you later. I was like, all right, that's cool. I'll take that.
But it works. I mean, for him, it works.
No, definitely. I'm not criticizing it at all.
Something that didn't work, in my opinion. Mark Sterling and Tony Nese, they're wandering around backstage trying to get people to sign up for a lawsuit to get Swerve Strickland removed from the company or something.
No, they're doing a petition. They're doing a petition to get him removed as opposed to any legal wrangling. Yeah. That's the whole thing. He's an inept lawyer, which makes it beautiful.
So they run into Keith Lee, who's eating an apple. And even though Swerve kind of churned on him in some battle royal at some point, because I can't keep track of all of them. Although I do, because your idea last week was you thought Lee was going to eliminate Strickland. Someone actually sent in a report, and Dave read it on Wrestling Observer Radio that said that happened, even though it didn't. This is why they shouldn't do spoilers on Wrestling Observer Radio, like, while the show's going on.
I apologize to anybody who listened to that then.
Yeah, but no big deal. But I don't know. I didn't particularly care for this segment. I was kind of trying to figure out where it was going. And when I figured out where it was going, it was like, well, they could have just announced the match. Later on in the night, we saw the same thing, except for this time it was the best friends dressed up in the same outfits they had on last week and trying to get Orange to sign the thing. And it turns out, so they're going to have a match. Orange Cassidy and Tony Nese. And if Tony Nese beats Orange Cassidy, then Orange Cassidy is forced to sign the petition to get rid of Swerve Strickland.
But you missed it. Apparently, he got enough signatures during the night.
Yes,
where he only needed one last one, and it's Orange Cassidy.
Yeah,
who shouldn't care about this stuff anyways? But apparently, he
should have worked on Trent. I bet you Trent would have signed it. And yeah,
kind of like the Marx Brothers aspect of this whole thing.
Josiah remind me, and we'd get to it, but Danhausen is OC's lawyer, and he just parroted everything that Mark Sterling was saying, but claiming it was his own idea, and Orton is like, whatever.
This was fine and dumb, but this should be lower than Matt Menard type of stuff, as opposed to doing it with a guy like OC. But
I mean, it was harmless. It was harmless. It was just a waste of time. I thought, but
I like unrepentant stupidity. It was good.
Yeah, it's fine. I normally do. I'm getting sick of Sterling.
You're just cranky.
Next, we got Christian and the Dinosaur. I hate spelling Luchasaurus, so I just write Christian and the Dinosaur. It's like a sitcom.
The best part of this is that they plug that Christian and Luchasaurus are going to be here.
Yeah.
And then when they shows up, Taz goes, "Oh my God, he has backup." I was like, Taz, they just advertised this
all week.
I mean,
ago. It's literally one of the only 3 things they advertised for this show. I think I've been looking at the quarter hours, and these are actually drawing. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this. Christian is trying to play, I don't even like CM Punk in 2011 or something. He's just trying to saying things he's not supposed to say. So he brought up, Paul Heyman in 2005 at ECW. He brought up Jeff Hardy, said, so he comes out, and before he can get going, Matt Hardy interrupts him. He got a big pop, calls Christian the Michael Jordan of being an asshole. And Christian says, "You make your brother sound like the sober one." And that gets like an ooh and then an asshole chant. And then Matt says he regrets his big money money Matt phase. And he says life is upside down. He's trying to make sure no one else gets taken advantage of. And Christian stops him and says what I was thinking. Actually, you're just out there because you're a massive ego and you're a pop chaser. You've turned a blind eye on your brother and his issues just so you can ride his coattails and get one last run. And Christian says he's the hottest, most influential star in AEW, and he says Jeff isn't even the most embarrassing thing in his own family. And it was, you know what, the promo was great. My only issue,
go.
The only issue I have with this is that Christian is like 47. Like if he was 32 and doing this, I think I would be like, oh my God, like, put the belt on this guy and let him have it for like 10 years. But I don't know where this is leading. That's my issue. But I'm entertained by the promos.
I'm it's wearing on me a little bit, to be honest with you. I get that this is going to be his gimmick and stuff. And it's one of those weird things where, I'm with you on, he's a heel who's too delusional. It's not bad to be a delusional heel, but when you're saying you're the most must-see thing in AEW, okay.
If he's talking about the ratings, then but and the fact is, it's what everyone's talking about, right? Like, and
yes, everybody loves a good insider. Ooh, he's really getting at his personal life here.
But it's wasted.
I wonder if he's
him,
really mad.
He's basically cutting the MJF promos now. Like, in a way, like kind of like not. Yeah,
it's a little. Yeah, it's almost like you want MJF to be cutting this instead of Christian. To be honest with you, I kind of just want bitter old veteran Christian. To be honest with you, but I mean, this was. I wouldn't say this is great. This is good.
Yeah, I was entertained.
You liked it a lot more than I did. I'm just kind of like, okay, what's he gonna do next week? Is he gonna bring up Marco's stunt complaining?
Yeah. It's funny because I didn't really like, I was vocal on not liking the first one because they brought up the deaths, and then they did that again the second week, and it was kind of the WWE, like, I'm going to apologize, but I'm not apologizing. So I didn't like that. And then this one I kind of like because they got away from all that.
They did get away. They did get away from the Stamford ish.
Yeah. This was more AEW, ECW kind of promo.
A little bit.
Very actually ECW, I think. Like Shane Douglas like kind of a
See,
Shane Douglas promo.
I
in a way.
was also thinking Menard was a little ECW-ish in terms
Yep.
of the Cactus Jack type of stuff where he bring
I
in
saw
his
that.
real life occasionally.
I've seen that comparison made, and
Okay.
I definitely see it. And again, was another reason why it didn't work for me. But I definitely
Oh.
see if that's what he's going for. I get it. So this ended with they beat the shit out of Matt at ringside. He dinosaur headbutted him, kicked his head into a turnbuckle, and then he chokeslam through a table. I wrote down that he chokeslammed through a table before he actually did it, assuming that he was gonna, but maybe he didn't. I don't remember. Maybe someone in the chat can tell me if they if he actually did chokeslam through the table, because it looked like he was gonna. And sometimes I cheat and write down stuff that didn't actually happen.
Now I'm second guessing what I remember. I just remember the kick part. I don't remember any chokeslam.
Well, he was looking at a table on the ringside. Oh, here we go. Josiah, I trust Josiah. Josiah is a pastor. I believe him. All right. And so next we got the clips of the Matt Menard promo and all the other stuff. It was a bunch of stuff all kind of spliced together. I assume this aired on the Road to thing and recapping Blood and Guts, and it was real good. I really enjoyed it. I like the fact that they recapped a match like Blood and Guts. They showed that dive that Sammy did, which was graceful and I mean, it looked great and it looked like it didn't hurt at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's fine. It's not a criticism.
No, it's not a criticism until Jim Ross comes out, and he's not going through a crash pad or anything.
Yes.
That's just like,
Oh my
what are you
God.
doing?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mention. And I mean, obviously, people that are watching this know or listening. The announcers, again, they did the same thing they did last week. They had Taz, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone most of the time out there, and then they had JR come in for the second half of the show. I wish he would have just done the main event, and then I kind of almost wish he didn't do the main event. Brody Lee is not with us anymore. He didn't need to keep saying that he was wrestling in this match that I was watching. But he showed up halfway through the show, and so then this led into a promo with Jake Hager and Claudio Castagnoli, and they're building up a match for next week. And I didn't write down what Jake said, but I wrote down that he did a better promo than Claudio.
Yes.
Jake was good, and Claudio was okay.
I thought Claudio was pretty good for Claudio.
Yeah,
Claudio's never going to be the most compelling promo in the world.
No,
and
Claudio needs a manager.
Sad.
Claudio has a manager. Claudio's manager should be talking for him.
Yes. I mean, but Claudio had the best line overall. I mean, Jake had nice stuff about, hey, I've been a champion. You've never been a champion anywhere you've been. I'm an undefeated fighter. Claudio's thing about, I get, you have your arm bandaged. I had my arm raised. I thought that was good. Yeah.
They call me the mailman because I always deliver. Yeah. I've never heard anything called the mailman. I thought that was Karl Malone. But,
it was Karl Malone.
It was. Okay. See, I got another one right. Claudio said he was going 3-0 because he won his first match against Zach. He won at the pay-per-view, and now he's going to beat Jake. And honestly, even despite what I just said, he better beat Jake. Because he did point out, he says, I beat your team. Or no, wait a second. I beat the team of the guy who you carry the bags for. I like that line. That was a good line.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah. All right. And next we got the match. Oh my God. So this is the first thing on Butcher and Blade against Swerve and Strickland. I'm not calling them by that stupid name.
Swerve in the Glory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swerve screwed up a leapfrog at some point. I think it was him. I wrote down that not only were they not on the same page, they weren't even in the same book. Like these two teams were just like I don't know what was going on in this match. They were all over the place. They were screwing up spots left, right, and center. The crowd wasn't really into it. By the end of the match, they were cheering for Butcher and Blade. They booed Keith Lee when he made a hot tag.
They're in Western New York, and both
I know.
Butcher and Blade are from the Western New York guys. So.
I know. But when they signed Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, everyone said, "Oh my God, they're the next world. Like Swerve's a world champ. You got to build your company around him." Keith Lee, how could WWE screw him up? Blah blah blah. These are the biggest like misses, in my opinion, that they've had so far. Of anyone that they've signed, like
their
these
match
guys
on Forbidden Door was great. in the
They've had
pre-show.
great matches. Like the match at Double or Nothing was great, but they're tag team that are feuding with each other. Like
yes, it's a can they coexist story, which isn't very good. They had some off chemistry. I just noted. I mean, the one thing that I took away from the match was watching, and it was about 2/3 of the way through, is that Keith Lee was looking slow on some of those punches, like just whiffing on the punches, a very slow clothesline to the Butcher, I believe. And I was like, I mean, age catches up with us. I mean, it looked like, I mean, he looked old in the ring a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say that because I really like Keith Lee a lot. I agree with you. I mean, look, they signed both of them and put them both on Rampage immediately, as opposed to building them up on Dynamite. Then they put them in the tag team, and then everybody's like, there you go. WWE style, put the two.
And now they're not on Rampage because Rampage is kind of like the ROH show.
Right.
So they're kind of back on Dynamite. And
they've been having good matches. It's just sometimes you don't click with somebody.
And you know what? But
the story is bad. And
we'll get to this, but they're also being completely outshined by the guys they're feuding with on every step of the way. So they had some miscommunication, and Keith Lee went for a pounce, and one of the Butcher and Blade got out of the way, and he hit Swerve, and they went for a fall that the crowd actually bought. That's where Lee made the save, and it was probably kind of late. Ryan Frederick pointed out on Twitter that he thought that might be why they were booing, because the ref actually probably should have counted 3 there.
Yeah, there was a thing where there was a cover where Swerve also made, or Swerve was getting covered, and then Keith was supposed to come in the ring, and he didn't, and Swerve was forced to kick out because he didn't get there in time, is what it looked like to me.
That might have been the one. And then they ended up getting the win. They did their finisher where Keith Lee holds a guy up in like a doomsday, and then Swerve does like the doink splash. And
you missed part of it also. Is that he was going to do the splash in the corner. He splashed the Blade and also almost knocked off Swerve off the top turnbuckle.
Right,
brought him back in. They did the fist pounce. Hey, all good. Did the finisher 1, 2, 3. So I think they're officially writing this story off, and they're back together. I hope.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So before they get a chance to celebrate, they're interrupted by Will Hobbs, who cuts an incredible promo, only to have the mic taken from him by Ricky Starks, who cut an even better promo. He said that they're several levels below them because of where you came from, WWE. You think you're a big deal. He's all fired up. Hobbs is holding them back. A little Brian Cage shade in here too, just as their old teammate. I thought that was fun. Yeah. It took me a second to figure out who they were talking about, but this is what I mean though. They're already, the crowd is a little cold on there.
Yeah.
And then Hobbs and Starks come in and just completely bury them.
They came out angry, which was great.
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome. I'm saying, they buried them. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. They're outshining them. And I mean, I can't blame them. I mean, I think eventually they're going to be baby faces, if they're not already. I keep saying it every week when I see Starks wrestle. Whenever he wrestles, he does that pose, and he's getting the reaction like The Rock got in 98, 97, 98 with the People's Elbow, where it was like delusional at first, and the crowd's getting into you, and so I think they're going to be baby faces. I mean, how can you not cheer for Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks? I don't know. I'm so much.
Well, I mean, there really isn't a Team Taz anymore for the most part, because Taz is on commentary and he's kind of being wacky yuck Taz until his team comes out, and then he becomes heel all of a sudden. So
and then you got Hook, and Hook is I think part of Team Taz. He's obviously a baby face. So
yes, he's been kind of on his own.
This is a great comparison. Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
When he was feuding with Bischoff.
Yeah, well, read it for people on audio. Starks was 97 Nitro Flair tonight.
You know what? I've been putting
this is an audio medium, Paul.
Yeah,
you gotta.
Sorry. Starks, Kevin Ely. Starks was 97 Nitro Flair, losing his mind in the ramp. Yeah, it totally reminded me of the day the ratings war turned around for WWF, but it was when Jackie and Sable had their nightgown match, and Jackie got her top ripped off. But that was the same night Ric Flair came back and cut that promo against Eric Bischoff. Greatest night in the Monday Night Wars history, in my opinion.
Abuse of power.
September 25th. Yeah, abuse of power. Yeah, that was awesome. We got then the Bucks interrupted because they Ricky Stark said they were the best tag team in the company, and then that brought out the Bucks, and they said, hey, you know what, you're calling me out. They buried these two teams. They said you guys both lost at the pay-per-view, but then they challenged them to a match next week, which again, this is, I don't know, kind of weird.
I would have liked a Starks comeback here to the Bucks to get a little bit over, to be honest with you. That's the only thing that was missing to me. And also I think the Bucks should just let the FTR thing go, because I don't think that worked for them. Yeah, the fans interrupted them chanting FTR, and then they said, we're better than them too, or something like that. I think that's what he said. He said, oh, you know what? I don't know what you thought about this. Nick Jackson brought up, he said, you guys had a really good match at the pay-per-view with Jurassic Express. It was 4.5 stars. That's an off night for us, but real good for you guys. I know that pops some people. That doesn't necessarily pop me. Yeah, I didn't know what to make of it, but I figured I had to mention it. And it's a good line. Don't get me wrong. It's a good line, but I don't, I'm not a star rating guy for the most part. So yeah. Matt proposes triple or nothing, which makes no sense. But next week it's going to be a 3-way tag team title match for the AEW titles. That's where the crowd started chanting for FTR. And then Nick says we're better than them, and you know it. Which I don't know what that, like, was that an MJF tease or was that just something he said? I think that was just a Pinnacle tease slash they wanted to get a shot in it. They want to get some heat for saying because FTR are baby faces, so that's fine. I hate these triple threat tag team matches. Well, why would they get out of control? Why would the champions challenge to a 3-way? This is like when they previously did this, it was Christian putting the Jurassic Express in a match they didn't want to be in. Now you've got the Bucks putting themselves in the match willingly. Because they're cocky. I mean, that's the only way I can put it in my head. It's kind of a dumb thing. It would make more sense if they were baby faces, but it would make more sense if they said, how about you two fight next week? And then after the winner will get a title shot against us. That's what I thought they were doing. But either way, I said it didn't make a ton of sense, but it set up a match that's probably going to be really awesome. So, I mean, in that sense, I guess it was fine. I just thought it was weird that you had 3 teams. You had a babyface team that the crowd wasn't into. Then you had a heel team that outshone them, and then you had another heel team that buried the other two. And meanwhile, but I do think, if I'm asking who the crowd was more into out of these 3 teams, I think it was Hobbs and Starks. Yes. Yeah, which is cool. Because they had the most entertaining lines. They did. And you know what? And they're also like people that I think the crowd can get behind. Like Will Hobbs is like, again, I bring up the Nation. He's improved 100% on the mic. And it's not a black thing. I mean, it's just the characters they're playing. I say it's like Hobbs is like maybe Mark Henry, but like way better. And Starks is obviously like I'm comparing him to The Rock. And so it kind of reminds me of that dynamic in the Nation, except like Hobbs even is better than Starks. No, Starks is doing something that WWE says they want on their resumes for writers. They say they want people who are pop culture savvy / whatever. And Starks actually knows how to integrate into a promo with modern talk, as opposed to the WWE where it always feels kind of forced and hamstrung. All right. Fair enough. All right. Next we got Malachi Black cut a promo on Mox, basically cutting the promo for Brody King. He didn't say, like, King didn't say anything. He just kind of appeared at the end. Mm-hmm. I didn't really write down anything he said. I just thought that the promo was the best promo Malachi Black's cut since House of Black started. I actually could understand everything he was saying. It was focused. He wasn't all over the place. I liked it. I don't know. I was rebooting my cable box at this time, so I kind of watched it like on the phone. It was fine. It was a Malachi Black promo, but it was a Malachi Black promo without the spooky stuff. Which I mean, it did have. There was no folklore or anything like that. So yes, it was direct. It was more of a I'm building a feud promo than this is the story of the House of Black promo. Yes, so that makes it already heads and shoulders above most of these promos.
And I do think they are heading again to that faction feud, which I'm here for. I mean, we'll see a 6-man, and then probably we'll see a Malachi Black Mox match at one of these big shows coming up. Yep. Next we get Eddie Kingston out, unadvertised. I mean, I don't know if they advertised on Twitter, but I didn't know he's coming.
They should have advertised this because people would watch.
Exactly. He's out there with Tony Schiavone. He congratulates Wardlow on winning the TV title, which I love that. Like, I mean, that's like WCW 19.
That's NWA Crockett right there, where baby faces all like each other type of thing. Yeah, I dig that.
Yeah, that was great. And then he said he congratulated all the members of his team, even Claudio. He says,
and this felt like someone was twisting his arm, and it was great. I'm
a nice guy. I'm maturing.
And then Tony took off his glasses to sell it. That was so great.
Yeah, I just spit all over my mic. So yeah, I gotta like fall like Brian Alvarez or something so we can have a meme go viral. So yeah, he's mad because Jericho didn't bleed, and then Jericho interrupted him with a tape promo. They're in the parking lot. He's got Ruby Riott and Ty Conti slams or go back to Crockett again, with Arn Anderson and Barry Windham.
And Larry Zbyszko. I saw comparisons to that, but they had like, you remember when Dusty got jumped in the Techwood Studios parking lot and he yelled, "Make it good."
Oh, I don't.
They did. Ruby Riott is holding on to a moving truck.
Yeah.
And Ty's like, "Do I slam it now? Do I slam it now?" And I 7 out of 10 for effort.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of clunky in a way.
You had all of Jericho's crew out there. I'm not sure if Daniel Garcia was out there or not, because Daniel Garcia he was. So he did leave with the crew and then showed up later for a promo.
I'm just trying to wonder, okay, the car's moving. Why is Ruby hanging onto it? Is she trying to get into the car? Or is she...
Was it her car? Did they pull her out of the car?
Why can't we have this car standing still so they can slam the door on her hand, for God's sakes?
Yeah. That was I mean, it was fine. I mean, and they've played up in promo, like they've mentioned that, Ruby and Eddie are close. And
Ty and now is part of Blood and Guts too. So
yeah. So I guess we're setting up for a Ruby Riott Ty Conti match at some point, maybe a mixed tag somewhere. So that was and then 2.0 kicked dirt on her as they were leaving. Nice touch.
Angelo Parker with a chicken scratch thing behind him and just walking off.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was nice. Yeah. So next I guess we got to talk about it. Dark Order's out with -1. I wrote down he's getting taller. He's like almost as tall as John Silver.
Yeah.
They aired all the clips of wacky stuff he's done on the YouTube.
I haven't gotten to see the one because I'm friendly with Dino Winwood.
Who's that?
Whatever his name is, Howdy, whatever his name was when he's managing the guy who was on Go Big Show. But I know him as Dino Winwood. He was in PWG for a while, and when -1 was riding him like a horse on an AEW dark thing. He's part of the Pack Theater out here, so he's a very nice guy. I got to meet him a little bit. Drop a name there. But I was so happy to see that because I love seeing people I know on TV. So it's one of those things where I had never seen that, and I laughed hysterically. Look, this is okay. It's Rochester. They've cut a few people. They've let a few contracts expire. They're rumored, according to Fightful Select, that Colt Cabana is probably going to be kept on, although I don't know if he's going to be part of this Dark Order still. But
he wasn't out there with them.
He hasn't been on TV in weeks, but they're rumored to be keeping his contract or whatever, at least whatever. But they're not going anywhere, which is good news for the other Beaver boy who isn't John Silver.
Alex Reynolds.
For Alex Reynolds, yeah.
They I was wondering.
It's Rochester. Give the kid his moment. Paul.
They had I'm not like, I wish it would have happened on the dark shows, but the one thing that's weird is the last few times I've seen Anna Jay, they've deliberately said, like, they've not said she was representing the Dark Order. And then here she was out there with the Dark Order. So they have 6 members, and 2 of them are -1 and Anna Jay. So really they have 4 members. Uno, Reynolds, Silver, and 10.
Yes, and I think Anna
And
Jay only appears when -1's around because -1 really likes her, which is no
I think he
shock.
really likes Ty, but she's a
Yes,
heel
that
now.
too.
So yeah.
Yes.
So then anyways, they're doing this promo. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be here forever. They're beginning a new chapter. I mean, if we see these guys together as a group like this on Dynamite 5 times in the next year, I'll be surprised.
Are you telling me you're not here for sports entertainer -1?
In
When he
6 years, I
turns and
am,
joins,
or, you
when
know,
he
however
turns
old
and
he
joins
is.
the. Okay, so you're like me at the beginning, but I've lightened up. You're now QT Marshall. How long are we gonna have to watch this kid on this TV?
Well, again, that's why I didn't want to talk about it, because
Okay.
I'm, like, I do understand what's going on,
Yes,
and I
yes.
do, like, I think it's awesome that he's given him this moment and he's doing it again. I wish it was on the dark shows. I kind of wonder if somebody is like maybe watching for the first time, like, what the hell's going on? Like, I don't see how they could possibly understand it, but again, I know you're not booking for those people.
Yes, I'm in a poly-positive sort of mood, so ordinarily I might
fair
be
enough.
with you.
You've had a
cranky,
good
but
night.
yes.
You've had a
Well,
good night.
just trying.
And tough day tomorrow, so you need a
Yes.
good night. So yeah, QT comes out and interrupts this thing. He makes fun of -1. But he does it in a way that it's not like Christian earlier. Like it's more
Yes,
like,
well, a little bit, but he mentions the mom, which I thought
he
was,
did mention the mom, but he didn't really say what.
That's true.
He just said you take after your mom. Like maybe he's just saying you're like, feminine. I don't know.
that's true.
But he did say that Brody Lee was a legend. He didn't say like your dad is in hell and
Yeah,
he's ashamed of
that's
you,
true. He put over Dad.
Yeah.
I don't
He
understand
challenged
why.
him.
Yeah,
He
go ahead.
challenged him to a match. And he said, I'm gonna go into the back and I'm gonna rip off all the heads of your toys if you don't take this match with me. And that was too much for Hangman Adam Page. he does not
Toys.
want
I'm
poor
there,
-1.
man.
Yeah, he does not want poor -1 to get his toys ripped up. So he comes out, he makes a save. Big cowboy shit chants. They're way more into Hangman than anybody else in this segment, and of course they should be. And basically the whole Dark Order and Hangman all beat down on QT, and then they basically set it up so that -1 could get a pin on him, but -1 grabs the mic and he says, "Nope, I'm not doing this right now. I'm gonna wait till I'm 19." He says, the QT said earlier 18, but he says 19, so maybe that's the legal age in Rochester. I don't know.
I think mom's just protecting him, make sure he gets a year of college under his belt.
Could be, yeah. But he easily could have pinned him. By the time this dude's 19, he's gonna be like Wardlow's height. Like he's
he's gonna be Wardlow's not that tall. I think he's gonna be more like his dad's height, but he's gonna be like a beanpole, probably. So,
well, unless he gets on the gap. Oh
yeah, no, Paul, that's bad. It's bad, Paul.
Guacamole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, if I tuned on to Dark and I watch this, I'd be like, Jeff, you got to watch this. This was awesome. I'm not sure if it's what I want to see on Dynamite. But here we go. My favorite phrase: long-term storytelling.
No.
Yeah, that's it. Except when guys get fired, then the long-term plans go out the window. I don't think -1's ever getting fired, but
I want him to become a nuclear engineer. I don't want to become
Josiah reminds us we do not endorse steroids. That is correct.
No,
not in this company. Yeah. And this is where JR showed up for work. So I was happy at first, and then I was sad because I realized he was
woke him up from his nap. Time to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got a perfect match for JR to call on his first match back. Penta and Roosh. I'm going to say I like this match, like kind of a lot. It may have been my favorite match on the show. I mean,
this is how they should have debuted Roosh.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. My favorite match on the show was Wardlow and Scorpio Sky. This might have been. I think this was the best match on the show, in my opinion. I coined a phrase that I don't think I've ever heard before. Lucha strong style. I think that's what they were doing. It was a mixture of lucha and strong style. Like they, kind of like a little bit of WWE mixed in there too, even though neither one of these guys have ever worked in WWE, but it kind of seemed like a match that WWE would go out and tell luchadors to have. And I liked it. Like I liked it a lot. You had the managers brawling at ringside. You had Andrade and Rey Fenix there. seems like they're setting up a tag team match down the road between LFI and the Lucha Bros. And real good match. Ended up with some heel distraction, and then Roosh hit a low blow and then pulled the mask off of Penta. Of course, he had to cover up, and then he got hit with a package pile driver and got the pin. I think it was or cradle shock or something.
Yeah, there was only one real hiccup to me in the match, and that was like Roosh does this thing where he's like doing a backflip into the corner, whatever, and it looks like he's ready to do like the running knee strike that Andrade does on Penta in the corner. And all of a sudden, he just stops there for a second, allows Penta to get up.
Yeah.
It's hit with the thing. Like, oh, I guess they just kind of missed a beat there for a second. But other than that, I thought this was a great debut. I thought I love the pageantry of it. Also, just at the beginning with the white bull outfit, I thought that was cool. I love that they're bringing. I hope AEW gets some Los Ingobernables gear because I'm all about that logo and I love it.
I really like the here we go, Lucharesu. There we go. That's another name for my Lucha Strong Style. That's from Josiah. I love that name, LFI. Like, it's so much better than whatever they're called before, the House of Andrade or whatever it was, House of Hardy. Mainly because it was like, or office, that's what they were calling before, right?
Yeah.
LFI, like Los Factions Ingobernables. I like that. I like that. And yeah, I'm all. I mean, we're gonna get some awesome matches coming out of this, so I'm real happy, and I'm a big fan of Roosh. Like, I've liked him back in ROH. I know he's a bit of a head case, but he's a good wrestler.
That's the only thing you need to worry about is the head case stuff.
And I mean, at some point, I mean, it's not going to end well. But
no,
I'm here for.
We'll be fired one day, and then we'll be going up. Well, we all expected that. It'll be the day he has to drop his first big loss.
Yeah. He'll be, and he'll have a belt, and then they'll have to do a battle royal to determine.
He'll probably have the All Atlantic title or whatever, and then he'll have to drop, and then he won't be happy about it.
Yeah. Oh my God, that just reminded me of the awesome line that Stokely has coming up somewhere. Then they did a backstage promo with Jay Lethal's crew, and they announced the ROH TV title match. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, this is your big selling point for a pay-per-view. I'm skipping this ROH pay-per-view, and
I like
they got my money later tonight.
Yeah, they got my money later, but I do like Satnam Singh a lot. I mean, he's one of the better big men that any wrestling company has ever signed, to be honest with you.
Yeah. What is this? Oh, what is it? Oh, the LFI was the name. Oh, okay. That's why it sounded familiar. Josiah points out that that's the name that he used in ROH for his stable LFI. And when he was world champ. And then he also pointed out he'll lose his smile.
Yes.
Yeah. He doesn't have a smile. So give him a smile first, and then he'll lose it. But yeah, I can't remember what line. Yeah, Satnam always ends the promo. He gets to end the promos with his one-liner, and it's always good. And yeah, he's a good big man. Next we got this segment we talked about earlier with Neeson, Sterling, and the best friends. The other guys like Taylor and Chucky were just in the background. Chucky's just trying to prove to everyone he still has a job. And this is where they set up the match for Rampage. If
he's been retiring for 5 years, so I mean,
I think he got re-signed is what he's trying to tell us. But Tony Nese, if he beats Orange Cassidy, then Orange Cassidy has to sign a contract, and Swerve Strickland has to, like, I don't even know what do these guys have to do with Swerve? Just whatever. It was fun. Danhausen was cool. He was funny. I got a kick out. This was maybe the first time that I actually got to see what everyone sees in Danhausen. I'll tell you that. Like, I liked it. It was understated. It was funny. It didn't steal the scene. Like, it was just kind of stole the scene, but it wasn't over the top stealing the scene.
It was duck season, rabbit season. It was great.
Yeah. He's a talented dude. So then we get the Acclaim doing their rap, except they don't get a word out, and the Gun stole the mic.
This is great. Loved it.
This is the worst thing I've seen on Dynamite in months. This whole segment.
I knew you were going to say that.
This was horrible.
It was great for heat. It was great for heat for the Guns. I liked it.
Okay, Vince. So it was. We got. I mean, first of all, the match. Acclaimed and the Ass Boys against Roughing It, which are apparently a team, and
Yes.
Fuego del Sol. Roughing It
Yes.
would be Leon Ruffin and Bear Country.
Yes.
And
'Cause
Fuego
why wouldn't
del
they be a
Sol.
team? Yeah.
This fucking idiot. Sorry, pardon my French. Larry, I love you. They were a great stable. Like, why do you need to break them
I
up?
agree.
Like,
I agree. They did the split way too quick, and they made the least interesting choice.
Yeah.
The least interesting
Just-
choice was Billy Gunn siding with his sons. The most interesting choice would be his sons beating up Billy Gunn here. That would have been
Oh my God.
interesting.
Everyone's on me now. I'm
you are,
wrong
of course,
about this.
wrong.
I'm not wrong. This was horrible.
Well, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong about the whole them stealing the microphone thing.
Oh,
But of
that was
course-
great. That
Okay.
was good. Like, no, that
Yes.
was perfect.
I agree. They should not have
Yeah.
broken them up this quick. They
But
rushed
not just
the
that.
split.
Like they had the interesting thing of Billy
Yes.
going with the ass. Was they had the scissor me daddy-o or whatever it was.
Scissor me, daddy ass.
Daddy ass.
pay
Like,
attention.
I mean, it was great, and it would have given the Gun some depth, and they were trying to win
I
back
agree.
their father and
I
all
agree.
that stuff,
I
and they
agree.
just took it away from us for no
Yes.
reason, and then it
Yes.
completely nullified what they did last week. Where you had, like, I don't even know why they were teaming together. Like, they broke up last week. Why are they teaming together this week? And now the Billy is back with his kids, which everyone knew was going to happen at some point, but a week later, come on.
Yes, it's the least interesting of all the options here. So yes, they rushed it. They decided to put it back at square one, and
can we talk about the match? The match was awful. The one bear guy was the most. He looked at Shawn Michaels selling for Hulk Hogan and said, "I'm going to do you one better." He was just making a mockery out of this match.
a little bit.
Yeah, and Austin Gunn, they did a couple facial close-ups on him, and man, I never saw it before, but him and Matt Menard look way more like brothers than him and Colton, or him and his dad look like father and son. Like, man, those two look very, very much alike.
Sometimes children get the genetics of their mother.
It's also possible that Billy was running around Quebec for a while before he hooked up with Austin's mom.
No, let's not go there. Not turn them into a Lauren Boebert situation, please.
Come on, do you think it's out of the realm of possibility?
I don't.
No,
Wrestlers went from town to town and had.
We just heard about Rocky Johnson, right? Johnson.
Rocky Johnson. Probably half of Ottawa is.
Halifax. Josiah.
Halifax.
Is it Rocky your dad?
Might be.
No, I don't. I think Josiah's too young. Could be his grandkid.
Keep going, Paul.
This is why we don't go live. So I didn't like this. In case I didn't mention it, the mismatch team got the win, and then they broke up. So Caster was going for the mic drop, and then Austin did a blind tag, and like, he didn't do anything. He just pinned him. Like, it was weird because, like, you kind of expected a
you
kick
think
out.
he'd steal the pin and they'd walk out, and then this would
Yeah.
go on for at least another week.
But also, I thought like they would do like a kick out or something, and then it would be like he screwed up, and then Billy would get mad at him. But no, he just covered him. Like, they couldn't have made this Bear Country and Roughing It look any worse. Now, again, I mean, it's Bear Country and Leon Ruff, so I mean, I guess you don't really care about them in Fuego. But I mean, I don't know. And then when the Acclaim turned on him, Billy's standing over Bowens, and Bowens has his hand up, and he's like, "Come on, Daddy, like, scissor me," and Billy just gives him a Fame-asser.
This is what you got emotionally connected to.
Yes,
Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
So what is this LOL about?
Oh, that's about Rocky Johnson being his father.
Oh, Rocky. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Rocky is not. I know. Okay.
Right.
Josiah is having a crisis right now. He's doing a genealogy test to find out if Rocky's his grandfather. I'm just kidding. Josiah's grandpa, if you're listening, I know you're not Rocky Johnson. All right. Yeah. So that was that. I don't know if you want to say anything else about that. We're segment on Dynamite in quite a while. And then we got Contrast Miro promo. I didn't write anything down. Just as calling his parents right now to make sure. So yeah, it was great. He's coming. I don't know why he's not here, but he's coming and he's going to be enraged.
Yeah, and this was great to set up a possible feud with Aleister Black, because he was saying Black takes broken people and takes them in and takes care of them, almost baby facing him a bit. And then Miro goes, "I destroy them," and it was great. Yeah.
So maybe he's going to join the Blackpool Combat Club.
No,
just
Miro's gonna be his own heel here, I think.
Okay, he's a heel. Okay, I thought he was a babyface. Okay. I just want to see Lana. Yeah, I mean they've been setting up a Black feud because Black misted him at the Forbidden Door, right? Or yeah, it was Forbidden Door. Yeah. Thunderstorm and Nyla Shafir. So we talked about the hot crowd earlier. They kind of calmed down for this. For the first half, they did get into it in the second half. These women worked real hard. I thought they had a really good match. I really enjoyed this match.
I love that Marina was responsible for turning up the heat here, because she was getting the crap chopped out of her. Yep. And Thunder Rosa apologized, and Marina Shafir got mad at her for apologizing. Yelled at her on TV, and was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, fade, kid."
And I think the fans know enough about like the kind of the behind the scenes story here that they kind of bought into that as part of the match, and it worked. And this was,
Thunder Rosa spent the next half of the match kicking Nyla Rose in the face.
Yeah. They did. It was the start of the match was like 2-on-1 against the heel Marina, right? And then Nyla Rose got the she hit him with a foreign object, and they got the heat during the break. And then when they came back, it was back to the baby faces, and they got the win. It was a stuffed pile driver with Storm Rosa coming off the top rope to hit it on Marina. I got the sense after this, and then we got the next segment, just kind of for me confirmed it just a little while later. I think we're getting women's tag team titles like pretty soon, because they've got a lot of teams now. You've got these two teams. You got Martinez and Deeb, who may not be a team for long, but you've got Britt and Jamie. There's a few others, the baddies. I think
Shida.
Yeah, there's on the YouTube shows. Yeah, there's a few. I mean, you could even do Kylan King, and I don't know who she was tagging with somebody.
Yeah, the baddies. I mean, and the new baddies.
Yeah, Willow can tag up with a baby face at some point. So I do think we're getting women's tag team titles at some point, because it's been like 2 weeks since we had a title introduced. So Tony's probably jonesing at this point.
It's also been 2 years since those medals were defended. So
true. And it's also equality, right? All right. And speaking of the baddies,
I'm not jumping into that. You keep going.
Okay. I did. I was on
the
next segment.
I know.
Speaking of the baddies, we had Jade, the baddies promo, and before Tony could say anything, she tells Tony to cut that shit. So she just had to get her catchphrase in before the promo even starts. Yeah. So Stokely is the best. He says, all this talk about interim titles. We had an interim baddie last week. I paid $1,100 for Layla Gray to come in. And Layla Gray, this hussy, as JR would call her, shows up on Raw to be on the backstage in the hot dog eating contest. Was
Layla there for the hot dog eating contest?
I knew so. I think.
Oh no, I knew Amber Nova was there.
Okay, wait, well, hold on. Is that who you're talking about when you said backstage?
Yes.
You said my girl. I thought you were talking.
I thought you had a thing for all
Amber. Who's Amber Nova? Oh, is that the one that I said? How come they never get signed?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't Layla Gray then. Okay,
but they have been using Layla Gray as extra for a lot of other things, which she wasn't this week.
I think I don't know if she's signed.
This was great. She fits in the baddies. I was wrong.
Perfect. Yeah,
I mean, they may still be going towards Sunny Kiss, who had a dark match this week, but Layla Gray fits.
Stokely might he almost looks like he's picking her over Jade the way this all played out. Yeah, like Stokely actually in this came off like a bit of an idiot.
Yes.
Like, but I mean, it's fine. Like, it works and he's entertaining and everything. But I mean, his stable's falling apart around him.
Or we might be working towards a Jade face turn.
Yeah, that's very possible. Yeah, and then you get
and then you can feed all the baddies to him.
Yeah,
one by
because
one.
honestly, like, those two are probably too strong a personality to be together. I
Yeah.
mean, it works. Like, sometimes you get like like Callis and Omega or Bockwinkel and Heenan, but this is different. Like I just don't think, like, as much as it looked good on paper, when you actually see it, I don't think it works. But Stokely with Red Velvet and Layla and Logan, that works for me. Like, so, but yeah, this was real good. But yeah, he had that best line he had was about the interim baddie and the $1,100 that he paid. I love the little details he throws into things. Like $1,100, $1,149. I texted, and all this stuff. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah. So and Jade walked off in the middle of this promo, and Stokely just kind of watched her go and was real happy to have Layla by his side.
And then left Layla standing there with Tony
and posing like she's all like
she got some stage directions, I think.
Yeah, but she's good. Like, I've seen a lot of her.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of her, and she's good in the ring, and she's got good presence, and I'm here for this. So we got the announcement of the freaking weirdest match that, I mean, they literally had like all the names of all the AEW wrestlers in a hat, and they pulled them out. Oh, Kensuke Takeshita, Eddie Kingston. Okay, yeah, they're wrestling on Rampage. What? Like, I mean, I'm sure it'll be good, but that's
an interesting Sophie's choice for the audience, isn't it? Because they're gonna love, because Takeshita's gonna look great.
I think they're just
Kingston's gonna win.
These guys,
yeah, they might be doing that thing. Yeah.
Kingston has to win.
Yeah, Kingston has to win.
Yeah,
it's just Kingston's gonna look like a jerk doing it because I mean his thing is it's basically a backhanded fist. So it's
unless it ends up with Jericho and his crew getting involved and
that
we
could
don't
be
get a finish.
Too.
Yeah. Hopefully that's not what happens, but I could see. Takeshita, not Takeshita. Takeshita.
Yeah, you're right. I did that again, didn't I?
No, it was me. It was me.
Oh, okay.
So we're getting that. We're getting Martinez and Deeb in action, so it'll be a jobber team, and I do believe we're setting up, a ROH women's title match at the pay-per-view. Moriarty and Gresham against the Gates of Agony, which is Tully Blanchard's team, and Orange Cassidy and Tony Nese for the whatever. He's got to sign the contract if he loses. Next
Tully
we got
Blanchard Enterprises is such a weird stable.
Takeshita.
It's three giant dudes, and it's like those wouldn't be the people you think Tully would go after.
No,
but okay, but yeah, I mean, but he can still talk for him.
Very reminiscent of
Ellering and the
Ellering, and with the guys in NXT, whatever they were called.
Authors of Pain.
Authors of Pain, yeah. Gates of Agony. I mean, it's the exact same thing. They should just sign Ellering. Not to say that I don't like Tully, but I mean, we haven't been seeing it.
No, I get
best promo I've seen Tully cut was at the beginning of this show. Actually, like, best promo of the year, honestly. And the first mention that I've seen, I had no idea it was coming. Fyter Fest Night 1 next week. Did you have any idea that this was happening? Yeah.
No, I don't have Fyter Fest marked on my calendar. It's not really a holiday for me.
But I mean, usually they announce it like 2 weeks ahead of time. This was like,
there's usually a build of some kind.
Yeah, half hour left in the show. Oh, next week, Fyter Fest Night 1. Claudio and Jake and the 3-way tag team title match. That's all they've announced for this big tentpole show. And then July 23rd, Joe versus Lethal, Yuta and Garcia for the pure title match. We got a Garcia promo here, and I don't know what he said, but I do know that he left the building earlier, and I guess he came back to this promo, unless it was taped earlier. Daniel Garcia.
Oh yeah,
he left with Jericho and his buddies.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so maybe it was taped.
That was
earlier.
a pre-tape about an hour before. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you know what? And the way they did it, it could have easily been a pre-tape, but it also they could have just not aired it. Like I don't, I would have been perfectly fine with an announcement. I didn't need to hear Daniel Garcia talk. I don't know what he said. I think
Whether
it's
I'm a
weird.
sports entertainment or a wrestler, I'm going to win this title kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
That's
Oh,
kind
here
of
we
lame.
go. He challenged Yuta for the ROH Pure title after it had already been announced.
Yes.
Although, okay, to be fair, maybe he challenged him for the title. They made the announcement and then they showed the challenge. So that's probably what happened.
No. Guys are hanging out backstage all day and they just
Yeah.
decided to cut random promos there, then announce later.
And then Tony's like, oh, hey, that's a good idea. Let's do that on the thing. Even though, like, I think I put out a mock card of what I thought the ROH pay-per-view was going to be like 3 weeks ago, and this was on it. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out this is probably where they were going, but it's a good match.
There's a match I did not have on this card that got announced as well. So yeah.
Yes, it did, and so we're getting to that. FTR, yeah, 7-star FTR. They're calling themselves. Cash says some people don't think they're the best in the world. I haven't yet to meet those people. FTR challenges the Briscoes to a rematch. Like what? Like I was like, okay, I guess you got my money. Although I guess the Briscoes haven't accepted yet, so maybe I can still hold on to my wallet for a little bit, but I assume they will. They weren't.
We have 3 weeks to get some Briscoe promos going here, so let's do this.
We don't need promos. I mean,
we need Briscoe promos. We always need Briscoe promos because
I would be perfectly fine with Briscoe promos. I'd be happy with Briscoe promos. I don't think we need them because I'm already sold on the match. So
the match is gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, and I'd be shocked if the Briscoes are on AEW television, but
no, they will not be. But I was shocked that they ran this back, to be honest with you. I thought they were setting up for Tully's team, to be honest with you.
Tully's team, or honestly, I thought maybe it would be Cobb and O'Khan.
Yeah.
Although I don't know what they're doing. I think they're in the G1, so that probably can't happen. Maybe, or Roppongi Vice. I don't think either of those guys are in the G1.
But I'll take this. This is a selling point for me.
Take this. I'm like, take my money. As Kevin Ely likes to say, hook it in my veins.
Yes.
I think.
As I like to say, hose me. Yes.
Hose me. There you go. Hose me. Oh my God. I got this visions of this movie I watched last night and did not want to see that. Or what's his name on Raw? Otis.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
How much are our preach? I don't know. $30 maybe?
30. Yeah. 30.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the sweet spot. Like if it was 20, I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, I'll buy it. No problem. So 25 is where I'm like, I got to make a decision. And 30, it's like, you know what? No, that's money.
If you missed the last match, you need to buy this match, and then you need to go back and buy the last one to watch the last match, because that thing is going to be match of the year. I don't think it's going to be topped.
Josiah says it sounds bad. It's worse.
Yes.
It's worse than it sounds. He's talking about the thing I said. Honor Club, he thinks, has it for $9.99, and this is what I was wondering.
Good. All right,
I'll sign up for Honor Club if I can get it there. I'll watch some old ROH shows at the same time, learn some of the theme music, and
there you go. Then, if you haven't seen the last one,
sign
up for Honor Club and then go watch it, and then buy this one because it's going to be awesome.
For $9.99. Yes. You can see me in the front row at that show. So yeah, they did a promo. They challenged FTR, or they challenged the Briscoes, and hopefully we're going to see that. And to be a king, you got to kill a king, which I thought was interesting because the next match was Brody King, and I think that was a complete coincidence, but
it was.
Yeah,
because they had recorded this about an hour before, I think.
Probably right before they recorded something else.
Yes.
Jon Moxley and Brody King, the main event for the Josiah points out. This is why I don't know the theme songs. Josiah points out that all the theme music is cut on Honor Club. Where do you think I saw these old ROH matches? Like, I'm a historian. I've been a subscriber to Honor Club since day one. In fact, I'm probably still paying for it.
I'm a historian.
Yeah, and
I drive a Dodge Stratus.
Josiah points out it's $20 on Fight. So there you go. For $20 I'll buy an ROH show. Like, that's fine. Like I'll pay 20, no problem. If they try to charge 50 for this, I mean, I'm still gonna buy it because it's ROH, it's the Briscoes, but I wouldn't like it. But 20, I'll take $20. Take my money. Moxley and Brody King main event for the AEW interim world title. I thought this was like the most boring Moxley match I've seen since maybe Jake Hager. The ending was okay, but I don't know. What do you think? Like, it was just like a big man match at the beginning, like a lot of brawling outside the ring. Brody King on offense was kind of like the crowd was kind of dead, especially for a Moxley match. I think
nobody bought into Brody King winning this, so nobody cares.
Well, not just that they didn't buy into him winning. I don't think they really knew him. Like,
that's true. He hasn't done a lot. I mean, he's only been in like trios on pre-shows a lot of times, I think.
Right. I mean, he's never had a singles match in Dynamite. He can't have wrestled 3 times on Dynamite. Like,
I think he's been mostly on Rampage.
Right. And he's hardly wrestled on Rampage either. Because remember, I made the point about how I hadn't seen Buddy Matthews wrestle. They had that one match. They've had a few pre-show matches. They did have a couple tag team matches with Malachi Black when he first came in, but I don't think he had. Josiah says it's $30 a fight. Frick. So yeah, I don't know. Like, by the end of the match, like it got good. Moxley was trying to get the submission, and then Brody kept going for this cannonball, and he missed it the first time. Then he hit it the second time, and he had the one spot where he had Moxley in a choke, and he had him lifted up on the turnbuckle, and then Moxley kind of went out, or they said he went out, and they dropped him, and then JR said the match should have been stopped. But then Moxley was just like came right to, and he starts like nailing him with clotheslines and stuff. So that was kind of weird. And then he just worked for the finish, and he ended up choking him out. He had the rear naked choke, the full rear naked choke. Then he's transitioned to like the crossface, and then the bulldog, and he eventually put him out with the bulldog. And Brody didn't tap. He passed out. Taz mentioned 75 times during this match that they might go over. And I think they went over like a minute. It was kind of weird. And for what they did, I don't know why they felt they needed to go over, unless they just had a feeling it was going to do a really big number, and that one extra minute was going to build up their overall number. Like, it didn't need to go long. Like, I mean, they didn't have any dead time at the end or anything like last week, but I don't know. The match was fine. Like, I mean, I probably, if, I'm going to give it a star rating on my spreadsheet, I'll probably give it like 3.5 stars. Like, it was good, but Moxley is usually great, and I just didn't find this great.
Yeah, I love Jon Moxley, but I like brawling Jon Moxley a lot more than mixed martial artist Jon Moxley, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Doing chokes and things like that, I'm just like, okay, I like him as just a big old brawling, toughest dude, Tank Abbott type style kind of guy.
So we're almost like the exact opposite on this.
Yeah, a little bit.
The stuff I liked, you didn't, and the stuff you liked, I didn't.
Well, to me, my thing is I understand he's a member of the Blackpool Combat Club, and they're really trying to get that over as he's a part of a dojo, so to speak. But I always view him as kind of a lone wolf type of thing. And I also, for this character, that doesn't fit. Like, I'm going to stomp your face in. Well, I'm going to choke you out first, though. That kind of thing. There's a little bit of a disconnect for me. It's just a personal preference thing. I don't mind it all, because I know he's been training really hard in Vegas for these types of things. So that's cool with me. It's just, for me, it's a personal preference thing where I'm watching. I'm just kind of going, all right, here's where he's going to show off what he learned this week in level 2 of jiu-jitsu type of a thing. And it kind of disconnects from it disconnects from the wildness of the character just a little bit for me. Just a little bit. It's not that I don't enjoy it. I do enjoy it, but it's just a personal preference.
Larry has a point here that I feel like we may have brought up in the past. It works better in Bloodsport than in Dynamite.
Yes.
And because Dynamite, I mean, it's a faster pace. And I think that was the issue I had, was that we're used to these fast paced matches. And then, like, I was thinking back to like even Moxley and Daniel Garcia, who, like, 0 people bought Daniel Garcia. Like, I actually thought like there was an outside chance that maybe Brody would win because they were in Rochester and, somehow tie it to Brody Lee. But I mean, I didn't, 99% that Moxley was going to win, 1% chance that it could be Brody King. With Garcia, it was like 105% that Moxley was going to win, but that match was awesome because it was fast paced. It was just boom, 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 boom. Like,
for this match, I would have liked to seen a lot more walk and brawl. to be honest with you.
See, and that's what they had at the beginning, which I didn't like. So I guess we had differing opinions, and I think maybe it's just the contrast. Like it reminded me, like,
if you're a guy named after Brody, I want you in the stands at least half this match throwing.
Well, and this is what I'm wondering. I was trying to remember the match that he had with Brody Lee, because I think it was during the pandemic.
Yes,
and
it was.
And
it went all over the place.
Was it the first Double or Nothing in the pandemic? Like I think maybe that's what it was, and so there were fans there, but they were like far away.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. They brawled all over ringside and everything. So I kind of almost want to go back. And I know some of these guys that are in the chat with us here, they do watch a lot of these matches over and over again. And I wonder if some of this wasn't taken directly from that Brody Lee match.
Okay.
You know, some of the stuff that you
That'd
like.
be a fun rewatch. I might do that while I'm recuperating. I'll see if I can.
There you go. Because that's a forgotten match. That whole pandemic era, I feel like there's probably some matches that you'd want to go back and see. Don't watch the Jake Hager match. The build to that was great. The match itself was not great, even though JR said it was one of the best matches he'd ever seen, building it up. But I think that was just promoted.
Worse than the one that was in the Octagon?
What was that? The one with
the Hager match.
I love that match.
Okay.
The Wardlow match?
Okay, maybe I'm misremembering it.
So I know you know what, there were people that didn't like it, and maybe you were one of them, but I like that match from what I remember.
Okay, I was misremembering. I thought it was clunky, but maybe I'm wrong.
To me, no, it was clunky, but it was a good clunky. Like it.
Okay.
But again, I'm watching as a UFC fan, so I'm like, if I saw this fight in UFC, I'd be like, oh my god, this is like the best thing I've ever seen.
I'm a UFC fan too. I'm just not. I'm not as into it as you are right now.
I see a bunch of really bad heavyweight fights like every week, and then so you see these two guys and Wardlow hitting it. Larry's like me. I have no idea. He barely remembers what happened on Dynamite last week, and he watched it. Yeah,
I forgot what happened in hour 1. So let's
blood and guts last week, Larry.
No, I meant this week.
No, I know. Yeah, Wardlow won the team.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Congratulations. Eddie reminded us. I love that line. That was Dynamite. It wasn't their best show. So somebody, when I had asked for comments, somebody had a really good one. And it was what's his name?
DJ Convoy.
DJ Convoy. You saw that one?
Yeah.
He said it was a reset show, and he didn't really dig it too much, but that's fine. And he also sent you some love.
Yeah, no, I like reset shows. I like having, okay, these are gonna be the new feuds. I'm cool with that. As long as I don't see it 38 times in a row during the week, I'm good with it.
Yeah. Mark, who's a guy, I don't think we've heard from him on the show before, unless he was in the chat, maybe. Nathan Wynn 2791, he kind of I think agrees with both of us that he was planning on skipping the ROH pay-per-view until they announced the FTR match, and
it was ultimately skippable for me. I think Jonathan Gresham's very talented, but that match doesn't really, it's like, oh, I gotta watch that. No, but
we don't even know what the match is yet. I assume it's Brian Cage, but yeah, I mean, that none of these, like, this sounds like an average episode of Rampage, which half the time I don't even watch, and I'm definitely not paying for it.
But I mean, Briscoes and FTR are the two best tag teams in the world right now, and I'll say that. So yeah, Young Bucks are third.
I might fight you on that, but
that's cool.
I think
go back and watch that match and tell me that they're not.
No, I mean, that was the best match, and you know what? They have the best chemistry of any two teams, I think. I would put the Usos right behind FTR.
The Usos are up there. The Usos are very, very good. They don't get enough love because they're stuck in Connecticut.
What the heck is Larry trying to say here? If it were a good one, it wasn't me. Oh, the comments. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. No, Larry and I had it out about the Raw ratings this week.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about that on this show. All right. So we had a great show here. Jeff, you got the surgery coming tomorrow.
Yes.
Should we
now I have to go think about that for another.
Should we watch the Sully promo one more time?
I got actually. Kevin sent me a link to it. I'll watch it before I go to bed.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I got stuff I got to wrap up. So let me wrap this show up.
Okay. The people, if they want to see it again, they can always just go back to the beginning of the show and watch it again. So as you're giving your plugs, I'll just throw this up there.
At Crap Game 13, I do a show every week called Shake Them Ropes on the Voices of Wrestling Network. Usually a little bit of a snarky yet loving show about the week in WWE and AEW and stateside wrestling. Show this week, to be determined. Don't know if Chris is going to record a solo ep or not. I'm going to see how I'm feeling on Friday/Saturday, and if I can record, I'll go. If not, I have never taken a week off, so it would be very interesting for me. Witticism. I'll let everybody know how I'm doing through Twitter. So, another thing. Hey, I'm good. Pin it to my profile, and that way you don't have to search for it. So, yeah. I appreciate everybody and all the love I've gotten this week. It's been far more overwhelming than I thought it would be for this grizzled old vet.
I said between the love for you and the support for Ryan on his fundraiser for Copper, I mean, it kind of restored my faith in social media and the good that can come out of it. And then it got me thinking, like, is Danhausen out there trying to curse me and he's like missing me and hitting my partners? But I think everyone hopefully is going to come out of this all right. I think you got this. And I'll keep praying until I hear that things are better. Honestly, hey, you know what? If Chris needs a partner and if you're not up for it, you can send him my
reach out to him.
Okay,
I'll give you. I'll send you his link.
Yeah, but either way, I'm not trying to take your job or anything.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I got enough on the go. I will be praying for you.
Thank you.
Take care tomorrow. And so for Jeff, for me, for all the guests we had, Tully, Dave, Garrett, Jeremy. I don't want to forget anybody. Mike, JD, Jeremy, Justin, Samantha. I'm doing this from memory. Scott, can't forget good old. Yeah. I actually had the list up here.
I think you got him.
And Sean Rossap.
Yeah, Sean Rossap.
He was like the first one, believe it or not. So that's a good dude. So for all those people and for Jeff, I've been Paul, and this has been, where the heck is it? Hang on.
I'll see you next week, everybody.
I gotta get our clothes in here. Hang on. The Dynamite Show with Grandpa Dez and Crafty Game 13.
It's the worst.